Dude, that's really good.
I don't know what that is. That's different.
I know what it is.
What?
Good.
We're a family show, Al.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, I'm James from Smokin' Dad Barbecue, and while we've made over-the-top chili before, I want to up it by inviting the most over-the-top character I know.
Hey, I'm Al from Eat More Vegans Carnivore Barbecue.
Let's get started.
I'm curious, how are you going to go even more over the top than what you did or what I did with the Wagyu beef?
Well, I got a couple tools at my disposal Al doesn't have, so let me fill you in on the game plan. And one of the things that I loved playing with in an earlier video is using just the base of the slow roller as a vortex. And I cooked some chicken wings and they turned out awesome. And so my idea here is to use just the base of the slow roller as a bit of a vortex to funnel all that heat right up into the bottom of our Dutch oven so we get nice, even, concentrated heat with no burning. And this will give us even more space to cook over the top above. Now, last time I did a meatball style, and one of the things that I found myself wanting more of is just more surface area to absorb some of that smoke. And so we're gonna go for a quasi meatloaf recipe today. And so let me take you back earlier in the day when we started to prep our beef, our protein, as well as some of our veggies for today's over the top chili. Okay, so first we want to get ready for our meatloaf that we're going to smoke. So I've got 1.5 pounds of medium chuck. I'm just going to add that into our bowl along with 1/2 pound of ground sausage. Next we'll get a little bit of Worcestershire in there. Easy for me to say, a little Worcestershire. Close enough. A little bit of barbecue sauce, some Diamond Kosher crystal salt, garlic, and I'll put measurements down in the description so you can follow along versus just going by eye. 1 egg, some fresh cracked black pepper. So I've just got a 5x9 pan with some saran wrap. So what we're gonna do is mix this up really well, press this down so it takes the shape of the pan, hold together, and get this in the freezer for 1 hour. And we'll get the other side once we take this out of the saran wrap, but we're just going to give it a little bit of salt, pepper, garlic, SPG to finish what will be the bottom once we flip that. Rejoin you when we're ready to start processing our other veggies and fire up the grill. So many hands make light work, so Al's gonna help me out today with our prep. So you're gonna tackle our veggies.
Got it.
And I'm gonna get to work on our dehydrated hot peppers. It's fall, it's a great time to add hot peppers. So if you've grown these in the summer, check out my how to dehydrate hot peppers video, but you can run double indirect, low and slow, get some great smoke, really dehydrate those. So those will hold a year. And this is gonna add some great smoke profile to our chili. So if you wanna amp up that smoke, I think you're really gonna like it. So we'll bring you nice and close, we'll get to work. I'm gonna work on these by toasting them in a cast iron skillet. Al's gonna get a medium to fine dice on our veggies and get it into our Dutch oven. So we have a lot of cool ways that you could set up. If you were on a series 1 or series 2, I would do what I've done in my previous over the top video where we use the divide and conquer rack, place in our Dutch oven and put our grids above it. But since we're cooking today on the series 3 and we have a extra 4 inches of headroom, I want to show you a setup that I think is going to work awesome. So let's come close, I'll show you how we're going to set up. So we're going to start just like normal with a cleaned out grill. What little charcoal is left, I just spread around the basket. So let's add a little bit more fogo. So it is worth taking some time to concentrate things together since we want to make sure that our fire stays centralized. And since we're only going to be smoking about 4 hours, this is more than enough charcoal. Let's grab our grill blazer grill gun. I'm going to use the sous vide gun. Fire it up. Okay, so for our setup, we're going to use the base of a slow roller. And if you ever saw my free vortex video, we're going to use just the base since that's going to act like a bit of a vortex and help make sure that our heat is centralized. Next, we're going to drop in the divide and conquer rack. As I mentioned, this is the series 3, so we have 3 levels that we could install our X accessory ring on. I'm going to go for the middle level to start since that'll give us a little separation from our fire as well as space to install our cooking grids above so that we could do our over-the-top chili. For this setup to work, I'm going to be using the Lodge 5-quart Dutch oven since it will sit down in the ring. It'll sit in the ring both on the Series 3 Classic as well as the Big Joe. On the Big Joe, it just goes a little bit further, but both clear the top level of our third rack here. If you were to use the 7-quart Dutch oven, it sits up on top and wouldn't work for this setup. But so this is going to work great as our vortex. I'll add our Lodge Dutch oven back in a minute. We're going to let the grill come up to temperature, looking for about 275 to 300 degrees. All right, so we've got all of our veggies prepped and processed. Our grill is just coming up to temperature. So Al's gonna get to work on getting everything out of the can. We've already added and rinsed our black beans. So we're gonna add our diced tomatoes, 2 cans of Rotel, along with Bush's maple beans. Everything will be in the description below. And after an hour, you can see we've started to get a little bit of shape. So this will hopefully hold together. So I'm gonna flip this upside down, add a meter probe, set it up to track. I'm looking for an internal doneness of anywhere around 150 to 160. You would normally cook this a little bit more, but once it reaches that temperature, we're gonna take it off, break it apart, and add it into the chili. So it's okay to even go a little bit lower. 145 or above would be safe, but USDA Association will want me to recommend, you know, that 160 temperature. So I'll take you fast forward while we get this all ready, and we'll meet you over by the grill. So first thing we're gonna do is start to cook out some of the raw on our ingredients, our white and red onion, our hot pepper that we've diced up, as well as some of our red peppers. And for this part, since we wanna saute, we could take a little bit more heat. So I'm actually going to drop our divide and conquer rack down to the lowest position. So our Lodge Dutch oven is sitting right above those coals. And we will give this a little bit of a stir, and we'll just add in some extra virgin olive oil to make sure that nothing burns. So I'll rejoin you in about 5 minutes once we've sweated out our onions, and then we can add in our chili mixture with the tomatoes and Rotel. Okay, so we're about 5 minutes in. Our onions, peppers, and garlic have sweat out, getting some great looking color. So I think we are ready to add our tomato mixture. You know, looking at my recipe and the size of the cans that I grabbed, I think those were extra large cans, so we might have a little bit of extra tomato. So I'll make sure in the description I give you the correct milliliter size can, but we're gonna add this to about 3/4 or nearly full of our Lodge 5-quart Dutch oven. I lied, it fit. And then about 150 milliliters of red cooking wine, or a wine that someone gave you for Christmas you absolutely hate. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this back up to the second layer on our divide and conquer rack, just so that we don't come to a boil. Again, the nice thing about these levels is we can always adjust, get our cooking grids. And now for the best part, Al's gonna drop in our over-the-top chili. So we're just gonna try and line that up so that any of those juices will fall down and collect right into our chili. So we'll leave this for about 2 hours. And once we hit about 2 hours and hit our target temperature, we'll drop our over-the-top chili protein into our chili. See you in a bit. Okay, so we are 2 hours in now, and we've just hit our internal temperature of 155 degrees, so we can remove the meter probe. It's done its job. So now what we want to do is just transfer this, move it to one side, get rid of our grates so we can break it up and add it into our chili. So I've just got some high heat gloves on underneath, but we can now take this, break it apart, start to use our hand here, crumble this, mix it right in, and I'll get rid of our other cooking grid. Okay, and so now we're just going to continue breaking that apart so we can mix it into our chili. And we will give this another 2 hours to reduce down. I'll rejoin you in a couple hours. Okay, so we are now 2 hours in, so we are nearly done. Let's take a look together, see how we're doing, and we can also check for our seasoning. How's that smell?
James, that smells incredible.
It smells over the top to me. It's looking good. It has gotten to the consistency that we're looking for, that chili. So here, let me hook you up here.
All right.
Let that cool a second. Since I have you here, I guess we've got to do the cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. We are nearly there.
Yeah.
I think salt's there.
I think the salt is there.
Maybe a little more
Maybe
pepper?
a little more pepper. Yeah.
I think so. So let's just add a little bit more of our fresh cracked black pepper. We'll mix this in, get it off the heat, and let it cool down to a temperature that we can actually eat. See you for our taste test. All right, so now for my favorite part, the taste test. You ready?
I am so ready. I finally get to participate in a taste test with you.
All right, well, let's dig in.
Let's see what we got
Hopefully
here.
we've come down from nuclear temperatures here.
All right, cheers. Dude, that's really good.
I don't know what that is. That's different.
I know what it is.
What?
Good.
We're a family show, Al.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
All right. So seriously, I taste more smoke than I did in mine.
I'm going in for another bite while you're talking.
Yeah, and I think it's the chilies that are really standing out. I mean, there's a very distinctive flavor here. It's almost a cumin-like experience, but you didn't put any cumin in there.
There's no cumin, no.
Yeah,
That is really good. So I'm not sure what it is, but we did a couple things different. We got a bit more surface area on almost a quasi meat though for our over the top.
Right.
There's that. There's those dehydrated smoked peppers, which I think are just adding an earthy depth that is really nice in this chili.
I mean, it was just a little tiny bit of those peppers, but they are popping out here. They're really good.
And then there's our slow roller vortex. And so while we didn't have the top of the slow roller on, we're kind of getting the same benefit by dropping the Dutch oven right on top. So the air that hits it is concentrated, has nowhere to go but out and around. And so perhaps in a way, we maybe got some of the same benefit here of the slow roller. I don't know which of those three it is. But as you said, we won't repeat. It's really good.
Kind of, I mean, all right. Like, I'm not sure that I really buy the whole slow roller thing.
No?
I mean, it seems kind of gimmicky, no?
I think I could challenge you to a head-to-head then.
Yeah?
Did you bring your egg?
No, but your neighbor next door has an egg.
All right. Join us for the next video then, because I'm going to go head-to-head against Al and see how should we make it a fair test? Because it's always just me reviewing. Should you be the one to decide, or should we get like an independent?
My daughter's here with me.
All right.
I mean, I don't know if that's fair to you.
Challenge accepted, my friend.
All right.
All right. We'll see you next time.